My brother's just a string simple with it, so that's the main thing. He's happy. Good. My brother.
I would like to call the Lawrenceville City Council meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the pledge. Ron, will you lead us please?
That makes sense.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just again thank you for you've given to us. We pray that you'll be with us as we conduct the business city of Lawrenceville. Pray that you give us an open mind, listen, pray that you'll guide us in the decisions we make. Pray that we just thank you for many blessings upon the city and its citizens. Pray that you be with our state and national leaders also, dear God, with the many things we're going through at this time. Pray that you be with our first responders, our police, military, firemen, and their families as they keep us safe. We just thank you for all that you do for us. Pray in thy name. Amen.
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 United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rodney, roll call please.
Burr.
Here.
Dunn.
Yes.
Rich.
Here.
Goins.
Here.
Green.
Yes.
Buckland.
Yes.
Warner.
Here.
Holm.
Thank you, council. Thank you, Rodney. Recognition of visitors. Is there anyone that would like to address the Lawrenceville City Council this evening?
I would like to.
Okay, raise your hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your name?
Wendy.
I'm sorry.
Wendy.
Whitney?
Wendy
Wendy, I'm sorry.
with Connexus.
Jennifer?
Kelsey.
Rich.
Janet and Bill? Ed? Your name?
Keith.
Yes. Anybody else? Okay, we're limited to 5 minutes. Okay, we'll get with you soon.
You got Lily, correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, December 11th, 2025.
I'll make a motion.
Can I have, I'd like to question it first.
Yes, sir.
I would like for this month's minutes to reflect a correction, or however you do corrections. My question to Mr. Tipser was not about current request. I'd asked if prior requests had been made for staff. I clearly asked that, and I did not get an answer.
So you would like to have the minutes to reflect, what do you want to say?
Well, right now it reads, Volkman asked Tipser to his request for, it's supposed to be if, but his request for more employees to fully staff his department were made. Tipser acknowledged that he made those requests. My question was, in the past, I didn't get a clear answer. I know we asked in the past few weeks. I asked about years ago.
Will you make that? Is that fine with everybody else? So noted. Given that change, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll still make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You received the bills of the city, sewer, and water departments. Finance committee met, had some discussion on these issues. A motion to approve the bills of the city, sewer, and water departments for December of 2025.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I will second it.
We have a second. Roll call vote, please.
Green.
Yes.
Buckland.
Yeah.
Warner. Goins.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Burr.
Yeah.
Pat.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question about that section though. With the bills section, we get a list of overtime worked, and we also get, well, and wages and regular time. With that is a report of the proposed budget for 25-26 year, and it lists salaries, overtime, double time. Maybe I'm not understanding the report, but it does not match the report that shows overtime and double time worked. For example, in utilities department, just in a 1 week, or in a 2 week pay period, there's over 34 hours of overtime worked. That's not reflected in this report that we get, that I can see, unless someone can correct me. Same thing with cemetery. The street and alley department looks correct, but it says that we worked no double time the whole fiscal year for sewer and water. On this one report, I got 20 hours from one person. So I'd like to know if the information I'm getting is correct.
You have anything to say, Ryan?
The utility is water and sewer, and those are split 50/50.
Okay.
On overtime,
All right?
but on the proposed budget, it doesn't count that, it doesn't count how much overtime we're gonna propose to the next year or to that year.
But for example, water and sewer both.
Right.
If you look at, well, double time for water department for the full fiscal year says 0.
Right.
We got 20 hours for
Right,
one person.
but we did them at the operational budget, that's the way I put into the computer. It's not,
Shouldn't it say that overtime went to that part of the budget?
cause you don't know how much overtime we're going to propose towards the utilities department. So all that is a guesstimate.
I understand that's the proposed section,
Yeah.
but then there's a list of what we actually worked. And it's not reflected there.
No, right,
It should be.
okay, but I'll check the computer and the IT department to see why I don't get that.
Yeah, my question would be, is that overtime and double time reflected in the regular wages and salaries? Maybe it is, I don't know. But that number, that the hours that are worked should be reflected on the actual time, because it has a percentage of budget that we've used, and it may be in the negative. I understand what you're saying. The first part is the guesstimate.
Yeah,
But for example, we had one item here, part-time. We budgeted $2,000, that was the guesstimate, but we've already worked $3,300, so that's a negative, okay? I would think that would be reflected with double double time and overtime as well. I'm not saying that double time and overtime is incorrect, that's not my point. I'm saying this report is not correct.
then I'll check it and I'll get back to you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Volkman. John, treasurer's report?
So, we will have a perpetual fund for the cemetery CD of $98,679.35 come due the 20th of this month. It's been my, since I've been doing this, I think we got to wait till a few days before the 20th to get the best rate available. So I haven't done that yet, since this is only the 8th. There are 9 perpetual fund CDs that range from $60,000 to this $98,000. That money can be spent on things for the cemetery. So I think there's, in the agenda, there's some equipment that may be needed for the cemetery. It would be my suggestion to kind of, since this CD is coming due, to possibly use those monies to buy that equipment. What's left over can be put back in a CD. So I think that's what those funds were allotted for over the years, to use for the cemetery in maintenance and the upkeep of the cemetery. So, and unless you have any questions, that's about all I have.
I do, but can't we use what's left over to put back?
We can use,
Kemper was here a few months ago and said,
Yeah.
that, yeah, we had a shortfall.
so if you have a piece of equipment you'd like to buy, I think you could buy it. It's gonna be strictly used for the cemetery.
Well, they said we already had a shortfall, or we're going to for this year.
Right.
Can't we use that money just to replenish what the shortfall is out of the fund for the cemetery?
I'm not sure about that.
Mr. Benson thought we could. Matter of fact, he suggested that we do that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're meant for the cemetery use, whether that's
Wages.
in wages or equipment, so upkeep of the cemetery.
does anyone know what that shortfall is going to be, or is it proposed to be? It seemed to me like it was over 100,000. It's my recollection.
I think we get later in the fiscal year, that'd be the time to replenish it if that's what Kurt thinks we need to do at that time.
Yeah, the nine
There's only a couple more months, so.
the 9 CDs probably in total would be somewhere a little over 600,000 for the cemetery to maintain it.
Do we have any others besides the 98 that's maturing before May?
No. Before May,
Isn't that one?
is that the end of the fiscal year?
For cemetery only?
Right. We have some in June. Dwayne, we just updated some in December, so those are pretty far off.
Yeah.
But the closest ones would be in June. So that would fall into the next year.
Consider not putting any of the 98 back in if we use that to buy this equipment.
Right.
And maybe help replenish the shortfall. That's my suggestion.
Any other questions?
Do we need to make a motion to do this though, since it's money?
When is it maturing?
The 20th of this month.
And so we won't meet again, so.
So,
Sorry.
Do we need a motion to cash a CD?
No, I think the treasurer has the discretion to do that as long as the funds are properly placed in,
if the funds are used for only the equipment or wages and salaries for the cemetery use only, because this is a perpetual fund CD.
Right, but would you not want to put it back into, renew the CD is what I'm getting at?
Yes.
Is that your suggestion?
My suggestion, if the piece of equipment is needed, I would buy the piece of equipment. The leftover I would put back in a CD.
So at what point would we take that out to come up with money for the shortfall that we have in the budget?
We wouldn't take it out of perpetual care.
Yeah.
Mr. Kemper said you could.
Well, we'll have a chance to talk with Kurt, he'll clarify that, I think.
I just didn't know if it had to be done in the same fiscal year is what I'm getting at.
No.
Right.
I don't know the answer to that. Mr. Kemper would.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, you have been doing these for 12 months. I suppose you could do it for a smaller amount of time if you wanted to renew it for a partial year, so it would be available.
To me, I mean, I'm just one person here, but that would depend on what the rates are for the
Right.
different time periods.
That's why we got the treasurer, that'd be your call.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, new business, Ward 1 vacancy. I'm not prepared to make a recommendation tonight, still evaluating candidates, and we will have to have a special meeting for the purpose of naming a person to fill that Ward 1 vacancy, because we have a 60-day window, and the next council meeting beyond the 60 days of Kelly's resignation on 12/11/25. So that takes care of that. Next item on the agenda is the opening or the discussion of real estate bids. We've got a couple bids here. Bidder is Melissa Edgen. She's looking at parcel 1, that is 902 12th Street in Lawrenceville. She she is bidding, well, $10,000. And intended use is consistent with B2 Central Business, downtown reinvestment intent. So this essentially is the lot that's immediately south of the library.
No, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, is that one lot or two lots there?
That's one lot.
Is there one in between that and the existing house?
I understood there was two.
There's two lots. Yeah, there's two lots. We're only bidding on one.
And the one we're bidding on is the corner?
That's
Or the-
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
The second bid. Second bid is for parcel 3. That's 1510 13th Street. And the bid is $1,510.13. This bid is from Heather Vinsel, and she owns the neighboring property. And she's got some information here. So we've got two bids, one for parcel 3 and one for parcel 1. No other bids, no competing bids, no bid on number 2. So we can accept these bids or not. So,
I move that we accept these bids for these two parcels.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Waltrip,
Yes.
Buckland,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Goodman,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Burr,
Yes.
pass.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is the Armory roof bidding. ADG, Architecture Design Group in Mount Carmel, is helping us with that. They put the specs together, they are familiar with the property, they did some work for the National Guard when the Guard was there, they're familiar with what we're trying to do here. And so, a handout here explaining the process and the procedure. The Architecture Design Group will take care of the advertising. They will take care of notifying the contractors through the contractor network. They've set the restrictions on the bid conference, and the bid conference will be on the 3rd, and describe the type of bidding. They provide the documents to those that are interested. And bidding due date is Tuesday, February 10, 2026, at 11 o'clock. They're looking in here at City Hall. And this is on that one parcel, or that one piece of the roof that's closest to the asphalt drive. The architects are expecting that there will be at least a 1-year contractor guarantee, 5-year roof guarantee, and there will be some exploratory work on the leaking areas from the gym area. See if we can find those leaks and give some recommendations on that.
Mr. Mayor, is that roof 1, 2, 3, or 4 on this, or is that all those combined? That's roof 1?
Yes.
Didn't we vote a few months ago to go ahead and do that?
Well, we have to do the bidding process, we have to authorize this company. The architects, yeah.
That's what I thought, but we did vote to go ahead and do the work a few months ago.
Well, we have to bid it out. We decided, yes, we're going to do it, now we're in the process of bidding it.
But
to
so is the other company that we were looking at their numbers, is this the same company or a different company? The reason I ask is because the other company wasn't going to give a warranty, if I remember right.
They were not going to give a warranty, that's correct.
Is this a different company?
This is an architect's company, they are just a...
Okay, I
they are not
understand.
roofers.
That's what they're
They are not
suggesting that we
roofers.
get. Got
They are
it.
not
Okay,
roofers.
I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, so I would actually authorize ADG to bid the armory roof according to their specs and designs.
I'll make a motion to that.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Probably a roll call vote on that.
Burr,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Goins,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Volkman,
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Pass.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is the cemetery excavator. We had our able-bodied out there go and take a look at the equipment, see what they needed. We came up with an initial bid, but the guys went back and took a look at the equipment, decided they wanted a 24-inch bucket instead of a 20-inch bucket. So that raised the price by $90. So, and as John explained, the money for this will come out of perpetual care fund. This will assist the people in the cemetery to do the work. So what's your pleasure on that?
I'll make a motion that we accept the $43,080.83 bid to get the excavator, and we're gonna use the funds from the perpetual fund, perpetual CD.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
You have a second, roll call vote, please.
Walter,
Yes.
Volkman,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Goins,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Burr.
Yes.
Pass.
Thank you, council. Next item is this vacuum jet truck that gave you some information on a pretty big piece of equipment. It's a used item. It's not been delivered to the equipment company yet. It has been leased for, it's 3 years old. It's been leased by another municipality, and this municipality can trade this in. New one cost over $600,000. This one is $375,000. Pretty big, beefy piece of equipment. I don't know too much about them. I relied on Mark Griggs and Eric to give me some ideas on what they want to do with this. Essentially, it'll be used to clean out sanitary sewers, the storm sewers, vacuum out those same items. Also be used to, if we have a water leak on the main streets or whatever, and we have a big hole, we can also pump water out with that. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I did contact 4 of our local lenders with the idea that we'd like to finance this to see what the rates might be, so they're going to get back with us on that. Terms, if we want to choose to go this route, there's a USDA loan program if we want to go that route, so we have some options there. I contacted and had not heard back from a company to see what a brand new one would cost and what a brand new one would lease for, so that information is still out there to be had. So I'm open for discussion on this item. What do you want to do?
Has there been any consideration in cost sharing with other communities?
No.
Are we, well, I'm not, but are you opposed to that?
I think we should buy and own our own equipment and have somebody else, if we can help somebody,
Possibly lease it or something?
well, I don't know if we want to lease it. If we've loaned,
And
if we
charge-
borrowed the money, I mean, we would
But charge
for a
them.
fee, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's,
I think that's an
I
option.
know that Bridgeport has expressed to me, the mayor over there has expressed to me an interest in either using it or cost sharing it, so that might be one way to recoup some money.
Based on the conversation at the utility meeting there, I would say if we do that, we'll put a lot of thought in, maybe we send our man over with us, because that's a pretty delicate piece of equipment, and all of our people have to be trained on it. So just to turn it over to somebody that's not had to train, if we do that, I would suggest we send a person with.
Absolutely, absolutely. You want more information on that before we make a commitment, or do you want to?
How long are they gonna hold this for us?
Well, they don't have it yet, so
So
they're
we're
gonna,
good.
yeah, so we're good. They will bring it to Lawrenceville and show it to our guys, and see if this meets our needs, train us some, and find out if this is really what we want to do.
What would the motion be if, do we need to know the financing? options yet
I think we do.
before we make a motion?
I mean, I think we should make a motion.
Yet, yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think we should do it. Can you at least contact them and tell them we're seriously considering it so they don't do that? Because this is a trade-in they're getting from another community, right? And we wouldn't want them to get,
They're gonna, this new town, whatever this town is,
Right.
they're taking a brand new.
yeah, I'm just saying, we wouldn't want this company that's taking the trade-in to make that same offer to someone else without us.
We got the first
We
bid.
got the first right of refusal, and that goes all the way up to the point where we get the chance to look at it here.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
So I don't think we're prepared to make a motion yet.
I agree.
Because we don't have the particulars yet, so.
But I think we need to pursue it because
Yes.
Yeah.
if we're going to be proactive in keeping these roofs, then we need that piece
I
of
agree.
work.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Okay. Moving on that. Water department update and water well treatment. Okay, I did give you some information. We received a document from the Illinois EPA, and it was dated, the date on this is December 23rd, it was mailed on the 26th, we received it on the 5th. They say, due to the nature and seriousness of the violations discovered, Lawrenceville received a formal violation notice and a separate correspondence. Okay, so I asked John Kennedy. I talked to John and asked him, what are these serious allegations? What's going on here? And I thought that was pretty strong language. He said that's standard language with any time they put out a violation. So what he did say is that none of our, there were no maximum contaminant levels were exceeded in the water. The water's safe, the water's fine. There's nothing there, no problems with that. Some of the issues were, we had some overdue permits that were out that was like Yost Apartments, 10th Street project, and also the football field. Those items, they tied into our city water system, so those permits, the operating permits, need to go to the EPA. I think some of those are signed, and the EPA may have seen some of those, but I don't know if they have. We have to get those to them. There are chloride feed tanks that are too big. They say the tanks are too big. They want smaller tanks, so we have to address that. There were leaking flanges, or not flanges, but packing water well site out at the Allison Prairie, and we've addressed that. There were some chemical pumps inside the water treatment plant that we replaced, and they don't know if those are up to code or not, but they question that. And so that's about what I know. I know that they're also asking us to have a cross-section survey within the community, so we will have to send out mailers to the community, and we're working with HLR Engineering right now in Mount Carmel to help us put together a document for that. So of course, we don't know what's going to be in this violation notice, and once we know, we'll really know what we have to do. So I'm going to turn it over to Aaron, let Aaron pick up on that, and then also share with us the water well treatment project.
Like the mayor said, at no time was there ever any issue with the drinking water quality. You'd mentioned about the permits. I actually have a copy of one of the permits from HLR for the 10th Street Main project, and it is signed and dated by the EPA right here. They have received this. So, also with HLR, we're going to resend another copy, because they've got, actually on those permits, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were from HLR. They were the engineer on that. You mentioned it's actually a cross-connection survey. It's to go through and see what type of apparatus you have in your home to see if you are required to have a backflow preventer. Okay. But that is something that will take place with that. You pretty well covered everything else that was on the John Kenner discussed was on the violation. On the 2 pumps that we have changed out at the water plant. It was for the potassium permanganate and for the fluoride. We went from piston-style pumps to peristaltic pumps. They're more efficient, they last longer, they're better pumps. I don't know if anybody's familiar with how they work. There's a motor that spins a gear that runs across a rubber tube, and by changing the diameter of that tube, it changes the whole dynamics of the pump. Pressure, volume, everything. When we got those pumps, they gave us smaller tubes to put on that to lower the pumping, to make it as built as the other ones. So I have an appointment, Lynn from Water Solutions will be here next week. She will be gathering all the information for me to send to the EPA saying, yes, with these tubes, it is the same pumping volume, pressure as the old pumps. So that will take care of that. There were some leaking out there at the wells. The packings have been replaced, so that's taken care of. Well, I'll get to that here in just a second. Brief update with the wastewater plant. The South Schreiber is up and going. It's been up and going since, well, it was only down for 2 weeks back in September. It is back up and going. The North Schreiber, we have it cleaned out, well, drained, cleaned. We will be running the jet truck tomorrow to unclog it's our waste activated sludge line. It is clogged. You need that to waste. When the sludge gets old, you've got to get it out of that tank. So without that being operational, we're fighting a losing battle. So we've got to get that done. That's the priority. Everything with the primary has been repaired. We're still waiting on a bid from Vulcan about the headworks. That is, from my discussions with Bruce Roadley and with Joe Siley, that is pretty much the cause of everything that's happened down there, was the headworks going down. The headworks, they remove all non-biodegradable wipes, but I'm not going to get too graphic, but everything that won't break down in the wastewater. That's what this is for, and it broke, and that's what's caused the majority of our problems. We have talked to a local machine shop that is going to be making some repairs to the North Schreiber. The structure that goes down to where the diffusers are that aerate everything, because it's aerobic activated sludge. We've had another, like I said, a local machine shop come take a look at that to see if that can be repaired. He actually said it's a pretty easy job, which I like, because the bid from Schreiber was $107,000. They wanted to replace everything that had rusted and fallen apart because it's so old. They're fairly confident that they can repair this and get it back up and going.
To give you an idea what that cost might be?
He has not. He has not. Took care of all that. The last one is Brockdy Well and Pump came out to do a flow test on our wells. We've contracted with them, and we've been doing this for the last several years. They come out every year and flow test, because we have a huge iron issue out there at the new well site. Iron gets built up, and when it does, we lose capacity and all that. So they came out, well number 12, which is at the new well site. It is designed for 550 gallons per minute. It is currently pumping at 360 gallons per minute. Well 13 was designed for 500 gallons a minute. It's pumping at 317 gallons per minute. Well 14, which is at the old well site that does not have the iron, it's designed for 500 gallons per minute. It's still pumping at 500 gallons per minute. And then the worst one is well 15, once again designed for 500 gallons per minute. It is at 150 gallons per minute. So Brockdy did a bid for us to do the treatment for well 15 is going to be $28,840. They also recommend doing what they call a smaller treatment on wells 12 and 13 because they were not as bad. That is $18,544 each. But if we do them all at the same time, they will shave, I think that's about $4,000 off, because they don't have to mobilize again, drive over here and all that. So grand total to treat all 3 wells is $62,220. And along with that, because well 15 is down so low, it has actually put us into above our 80% capacity of what our wells can produce, which that throws a bunch of red flags with the EPA. It doesn't require any more work, they just have us do some extra reports. But it needs to be taken care of. And that, like I said, that is what Rocky Well and Pump has recommended.
But the red flag goes away once we...
Absolutely, 100%. Because once they do the treatment, they will flow test again and they will send those results to the EPA.
So what do we need per minute?
They're designed for 500 gallons per minute. And
Right,
what the EPA, right now, we're still doing fine with
I just
keeping
wonder
up.
what that threshold is, 'cause it looks like it's.
We're above 80%.
We're currently above 80%.
Yes.
At about 1,300 per minute is what we're
Yes,
doing
yes,
combined total.
yes,
And that's above 80%. Okay.
correct.
Has anyone else on the committee talked to the EPA? Actually made a call to them. I did. I wanted to ask you if you knew about this organization. The issues that they found at the water department, the representative I spoke to at the EPA suggested, I don't know if they would help you out or not. I didn't look into the organization, but the EPA suggested this to me. There's an organization called Rural Water that only helps
We're members of
communities
them.
with water, not sewer issues.
Are you saying the Illinois Rural Water Association?
Yes.
We are a member of them.
We are a member of
Yes.
them. Are they assisting in any of this?
They have been here several times to help us locate leaks that we can't find. They have brought down a bunch of study material for my guys. We're going to be doing tutorings with them.
To be a member, I imagine we pay a fee each?
Yes,
year?
yes.
Okay.
They help us with some of our compliance things with consumer confidence report and all that. So yeah, we
You
use
do
them.
utilize
Yes,
them.
yes.
They'd asked me if we were, and I said I didn't know, I'd find out. One other question, kind of off topic while you're there. Can you tell me why, or not why, but how community sewer lines work that aren't actually like part of the city's system? How do they work, or according to our ordinances? Do you know?
Okay, now I don't know according to ordinance. I just know what has been explained to me by the people in my position prior. There were, and there's several of them out here, what they would call a party line.
Yep.
A few houses would get together and tie into each other and go to the main. The worst part we have is right over here, around
Usually
7th and
alley?
8th. Yes.
The reason I'm asking is someone has come to me and asked me.
No, I know what you're talking about, yes.
If the city, has the city had jurisdiction over these in the past and we've signed it over?
No, we have never had jurisdiction over it.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying that nobody in the past has ever done anything to those from the city. I can't answer that question.
Maybe as a favor.
Maybe so. I can't answer that question. I don't know.
If the city owns a piece of property that's on one of these, I suppose they would share the cost or maybe be interested in getting it fixed?
That I can't answer that. That would come to
That
you
would be the
guys.
council,
Yes.
but those are questions that have been posed to me by a resident.
Yeah.
Council.
Have them come to City Hall, we'll talk to them.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
thank you.
Well, what action do you want to take on?
Make a motion to get 12.
All three of them?
I'll second. All right, we have a motion, we have a second, to repair all wells. Roll call vote.
Waldrop,
Yes.
Buckman,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Pass.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is payroll timekeeping. I'll turn this over to Dawn.
As we discussed last month, we've now added to the time sheets the time in and time out, and asked for more details for hours over 8. And we've also added an employee signature and a supervisor signature on there. So that's what we discussed. I think each of you have received some information about some timekeeping products. And while we're certainly not, the city's not against these products, we'd like time to gather some more information. and the people that are going to be involved in this process. We want to get them together and make sure that any issues are identified and addressed. So that is still something that we are considering. We may consider other products as well.
Russ, you have anything?
Yeah, on as far as these timesheets, we had a FOIA request back on August the 18th for timesheets. And on August the 29th, the timesheets were sent out. There was a total of 263 timesheets sent out. And I know Dwayne had showed me 2 of them.
Not of that stack, no, but this was ones I'd gotten a long time ago.
Oh, those were a long time ago?
Yeah, those were back probably before, those were back last year, or 24.
Oh, so those were
Well,
old ones.
those were before April. They were like October, November, December of 20.
So wasn't
They
that
weren't the stack that you did.
Okay,
no.
that's
No.
fine. So out of these 263, has anybody here had any issues out of it? Somebody brought any issues, any wrong times or anything? No?
I have not reviewed all of those, but I don't have any issues to speak of now.
Okay.
I did have a question though. You said
Well-
this is the new one that we have, that you guys are proposing?
Does it have signatures
It was in
at
the
the bottom?
packet.
Does that have signatures at the bottom?
No.
Okay, no, there's another one, sorry.
Okay, that's what I thought, because it was on there before.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe, but yeah, it's not on that one, so I made sure I added it back at the bottom.
Okay. But the ones that were sent out were the old ones, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the first draft, so to speak, and then we realized that didn't come out on that,
No,
so
that's
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, back to what I'm talking about. Since there was no issues, I'd like to make a motion that we continue doing timekeeping the current way.
Without pursuing the time clock issue?
Without
though?
pursuing the time clock.
Is there a second?
Can we discuss the motion before we vote on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do understand all the labor involved? Go ahead.
We have a motion. Is there a second on the motion? Seconded. We have a second. Discussion.
You understand the amount of labor it takes? You've got the employee filling out the sheet to spend his time adding up the time. You've got his supervisor who's supposed to be checking it. And then you've got the labor time of, in this case, Rodney. If you added up all those labor hours, I would bet you would find you would save money by having an automated system. Why do we not want to have an automated system? It will save money if you consider the labor of, somebody's got to sit down and make that calculation. 3 people do actually.
You talking about the supervisors?
The person filling out the sheet,
Right.
the supervisor,
Right.
and the clerk.
For all 28 employees.
Yeah,
That's all there is.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Any other
I just
discussion?
want
That's not
everyone to
that much.
consider that.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll just make a comment, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
This all started because we had overtime and didn't know what they were doing. This sheet will do that. Time sheet's not gonna tell you what they're doing in overtime.
No, that's not true.
It'll tell you when they click, when they clock in, when they clock out. It won't tell you what they've been doing. This sheet will help us with that. After we get this, for, I don't know how long, 6, 7 months, whatever it takes, then we need to go time clock, that can happen. But for what initially you guys wanted was the overtime and what were they doing. With this sheet giving a description of what they've been doing will help us with that.
Okay, that's not correct. It wasn't just the overtime, it was the fact that there was no beginning and end time, even for regular time, and the potential for human error in adding it up, which still exists this way. That does not correct the human error aspect of this, which I proved that there is human error.
But now they're being checked by their supervisor and the mayor's office.
So were some of the ones that were in error before. You're not eliminating, you cannot dispute that you're not eliminating the human error aspect that a computer system would eliminate.
Computers make errors too. Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting anyone's doing anything wrong. I'm just saying there's human error involved.
Awful question.
Okay. Call for a question, roll call vote.
And, okay, can we reiterate what we're voting on, just so everybody's
It's
clear?
at your discretion, Mayor, as whether it's a roll call or vote.
But
What's the motion?
The motion is to use the current timesheet that is developed, and we will not do time clocks.
okay. Just want to make
Is
sure
there,
it is.
what's the, someone, we have a second? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Sounds like,
With
2.
Tim and, Tim, Jim.
Okay. Motion passes. Okay, public comments first.
May I approach? Okay, if you don't mind passing those on. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the Community Development Manager with Connexus Fiber Internet. We've been in business since 2000, and we provide most of the fiber lines to the cell phone towers across Illinois, and then we started doing fiber to the home in rural communities in about 2016. We've been trying to reach out since July, so I just wanted to introduce myself, see if you guys had any questions. Make sure you got the request for our permits. We would like to start construction in first quarter, then hopefully, by summer, everyone would have fiber internet availability in Lawrenceville. My team also likes to become active in the community, give back to the community, help support your local sports or your parks or your teams. I just wanted you to have my business card, and we can also set up a meeting with our construction and your public works gentlemen and ladies, if you have any on there.
Feel free to drop by and we'll accommodate.
Okay, thank you.
Ed Rumway.
Now, Dawn. Hey, I'm Ed Brumley. I'm a resident of Lawrenceville. I was born and raised here. You guys probably, a lot of people know me. I've got a issue that I've known about for years, and it's an issue that continues to grow. If you want to pull up your phones and just Google Lawrenceville, Illinois City Hall Ward, and that will bring you to this page. And all our city council members are assigned to a ward, and they represent those wards. And over the last 60, 75 years, these wards have gotten out of whack. Ward 1 is Victor French's ward, and Kelly Lewis, who's just vacated the board, is 11th Street going east and Cedar Street going north. And that represents 756 voters. I've got these details, these electors. There's 2,634 electors or registered voters in Lawrenceville, and I received that information last month from Will Gibson's office. And again, Ward 1 has 756 voters. That's 28.7% of all voters in our city. Ward 2 is Ron Waldrop and Dwayne Volkman. There's 361. This is the smallest ward, and that is 11th Street to 15th Street to north of Cedar. And that's 13.71% of all voters. Ward 3 is John Brewer and Russell Goins. That is 1,087 voters or registered electors in our city. And that represents 41.27% of all voters. Ward 4 is everything south of Cedar, and that's 430 voters. That's 16.32% of all voters. And that's Jim Dunn and Teresa Green. Teresa, I'm sorry, I vacated you instead of Kelly. And I have some details I'll share with the board, but I have to eliminate some lines to what I'm going to provide you here in a bit. But nevertheless, it's an issue that is continuing and going to continue to grow because Ward 3, everything west of 15th and everything north of Cedar is going to continue to get more populated because as time has gone on, south on Porter Avenue, they've added houses out there by the park in the last 60 years. Jane Street has been established here, 35 years ago? And in River Run Estates here about 15 years ago was annexed into the city. And that's north of 50. and lots of empty lots out there to build houses. And we've also added 2 apartment complexes beside the high school and behind the Walmart. So that's continued to going to make that worse. Currently, it's up to you, and it's up to you as for the laws of the state of Illinois, as for requiring what you have to do to have a ward. Redrawing the lines is going to be really hard, and I'm not proposing that. I've got some solutions that potentially you could consider, and I would do this so far in the future that it doesn't affect anybody here, like let's say 2030. But you guys make a plan now or in the next year or two that's going to happen in 2030. But I would propose personally, just off the top of my head, would be to, if you merge Ward 4 and Ward 2, that would only bring that to 792 votes. That's still less than Ward 3. And that would bring it to a percentage of 29% for Ward 1, that'd be 30% in Ward 2, and 41% in Ward 3, if you merge 2 and 4. Again, these are just ideas, but you guys got to talk with the legal guy as for what's going to be required. And but I want you guys to think about this and address it, and not necessarily make a decision next year or two, but do it, a decision, we've made that, it's going to happen in 2030 or something like that. But it's up to you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I actually came with visuals because obviously coming up here and speaking is doing nothing. I did get corresponding from the risk management group that this is going to be taken to their attorneys. So my claim, and so I'm here to ask, what makes this not payable? What makes this not payable? Okay, I'm going to let you guys take a look at it and why this is being fought. I mean, we have 3 families here that is getting ignored. We just want our claims paid, and so we can get our households in order. While you guys are looking at that, I wanted to address, I've been talking up here since August, and ever since I've been coming up here, it seems to be that I have some backlash and I have some possible retaliation. Okay, so the first time I came up here to talk, shortly after, I had CPS come visit me weekly.
Who's that?
CPS.
What's that?
Child Protective Services. Okay? So come visit me weekly. I mean, we got to be good friends about my licensing. Okay? Well, I don't have a current license now because of that right there. I don't claim to have a daycare right now because of that. So I'm just letting everybody know retaliation is happening. Okay? The second form of retaliation that I have gotten is the last time I talked here. I won't name the person or what was within the conversation, but after basically towards the end of the conversation, I was basically saying my kids are good kids, and this person basically said that it's not the kids, it's me that's not a good person in general, like not by perfect words, but basically accused me of not being a good person. I just want to know, how am I not a good person for trying to fight for my family?
Amen.
I mean, how am I not a good resident for trying to fight for my family and the community? So that's pretty much all I got, but I just don't see it that it's appropriate for somebody that's, and this person, like I said, I'm not going to name names, this person works up here at City Hall that's supposed to be doing their job for us taxpayers and residents. And I'm getting retaliated.
I'm getting, basically slander. So basically, I just want to show you guys the pictures, give you guys the visuals, and guys, that's what's happening here.
Yep.
How long ago did you file your claim?
Actually, I have the claim papers right here. August 15th, 2025, I filed it, and we have Rodney here that faxed it for me. Right here.
Before you step down, Mr. Mayor, I'd asked last month if you had reached out to to a risk management company you said you were going to.
I've had discussions with them.
Do we know what the status is, at least, as far as a time frame? Or
No.
can you share with us what that discussion
I've
was
had
about?
conversations, and that's where I'm at.
So you don't want to share? Okay, that's fine. I would suggest, if you're willing to name that person, I would suggest that the mayor look into if they're a city employee.
Absolutely.
That an investigation be made about you being approached.
Jennifer has the floor.
She said she was done. I'm addressing what she said. I can wait. You have more to say?
No.
Okay.
But I would like that to be addressed.
I would suggest-
And I have witnesses I found out today.
Yeah, I'm aware of the witnesses. I would suggest that the mayor look into that, because if it's a private citizen, they're welcome to say what they want. But from the aspect of being a city employee, I think that needs to be addressed. And I would think you would want to find out who that is, Mr. Mayor.
Rodney, if she made the claim in your office, why hadn't she heard back?
Well, the claim was it in August.
With the insurance company.
Yeah.
Just waiting on them.
Yeah, I'm so assuming that this company did contact you to get your side of it, and they're just waiting, I don't know what they're waiting for, they're both sides, and now they're just evaluating what the next step is. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. So you have
Just waiting on the
insurance company, I got you.
But yeah.
Well,
Right, but I want to say, it took them several months, 4 to 5 months to get accurate information from the city, and that's based on a personal conversation I had with them. So that's one of the reasons it was held up at the beginning.
As of the 15th of December, it was with an attorney.
Councilman, you have the floor.
Sorry. Hello. All right, ready? All right, so last month at a city council meeting, it was publicly stated that Alderman Victor Fritsch voted against the motion made by Alderman Dwayne Volkman, not because of the substance of the motion, but because of personal dislike. Mr. Fritsch represented my ward, and I am embarrassed by the idea that my representative would make decisions based on personal feelings instead of what is best for the people he was elected to serve. What followed was even more troubling. It was revealed that vulgar language about Alderman Volkman had been written on Mr. Fritsch's folder at a prior meeting. When confronted publicly, Mr. Fritsch did not deny it, but his response was so. A dismissive and unacceptable reaction from someone entrusted with public office. More disturbing still, Mr. Fritsch openly admitted that he voted against the time card motion because he does not like Alderman Volkman. When asked directly, his response was, "Damn right." This behavior is childish. City government is not a playground, and city council is not a place for personal grudges, insults, or ego-driven decision-making. These votes affect employees, taxpayers, and the daily operations of our city. They require maturity, professionalism, and respect. The people of this ward deserve representation by adults, not officials who proudly admit to voting based on personal animosity. If Mr. Fritsch is unable or unwilling to separate his personal feelings from this public responsibilities, then I believe he should resign his seat and allow adults to govern. Thank you.
I'm Walter Mikowitz. I come up here in November asking for the resignation of the mayor. Now I want to know why it is that you guys are union. That's what I want to know. I don't want the resignation. I want to know why it is you guys are union. You guys give unions a bad name. I hold 2 union cards in my back pocket. You guys talking about time clocks? Not a one of you guys have ever been to a turnstile. Not a one. Why don't you get some turnstiles in there? Get some cameras on the turnstiles. Get some badges for these people. This is pretty simple. You guys are making this harder than it is. Like I said, you guys are giving unions everywhere a bad name, and it's disgusting. I'm tired of watching it. These people are tired of begging you to make them whole again. What you guys are doing here, I mean, there's 10 signs up here talking about wastewater going into the river that I used to fish in, and probably lots of you guys too. But you can't no more. I mean, 10 signs. I've been coming up here for the last few months. I've been keeping my mouth shut, trying not to talk, because I usually jump in with both feet. But I can show you guys my union book. You guys can hold it if you want to. Not a one of you guys know what a union card is. I don't know how many dues you guys are paying. If you guys ever have paid dues, it's probably to a school or a prison. You don't know what it's like going out there hitting a time clock. These people do. These people want time clocks. They want their time counted for. They want their overtime. You guys are giving them double time for a job that they don't even deserve regular time at. This is not right, what you guys are doing. These people's toilets backing up. It's heartbreaking. It's really sad. And people are tired of it. I got a website for EPA4, Orange County. I got 30 people in there. 30 people. I'm proud of those 30 people. You know why? Because they get notified what's going on here. They probably don't show up to these. I didn't show up to these. You got people showing you guys pictures. I mean, the smartest guy up here is probably this guy. Besides Dwayne. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to disrespect you guys, but we're talking to you. This guy's over here voting against a time clock. That's enough. I'm done.
Janet Horn.
I'm going to stand with her. She's nervous.
I'm Janet Horn, and this is my husband, Bill. We have lived in our home in Lincoln Heights for over 36 years and are victims of multiple raw sewage overflows. Reflecting on what has happened since April 5th, 2025, we thought someone should have taken responsibility. The individuals responsible have not been held accountable. Victims of the overflows have not received a dime nor an apology from the city. They have been smeared, bullied, and cast out for coming forward. We have invested hours of research in trying to prove our case to the city's risk management insurance, as well as hours of sleepless nights. Our council members elected to serve their community don't care. They don't care if their neighbors get inundated with sewage and spend thousands of dollars for the city's negligence. They don't care if the sewer plant is inoperative. They don't care if sewage is dumped into our river. They don't care about pollution. What the council does care about and value over the health and safety of their community are their friendships and cult of personalities. Your lack of empathy and immediate response to the situation has caused great financial burden and potential illness to the people of Lawrenceville. The problem is not going away. Get your head out of the sand. Serve the people who elected you in good faith. It all starts at the top. There are no mysteries. The IEPA is our last hope for accountability, and our participation has no bearing on the outcome. We have been consumed for many months. Just when we feel like giving up, we get a sense of community. Lawrenceville is our home. We love our home and want what is best for our friends and neighbors, a safe and healthy environment. Unfortunately, we really don't think many on the council can make that claim. In our efforts to establish the burden of proof for CCMSI, of which our claims have not yet been paid nor denied, we have made many FOIA requests and have direct communications with the IEPA and other state officials. Is the council aware that even with a non-operating sewer lab, samples were submitted for testing Impossible. With the same result for over 30 months? Again, impossible. We have the documentation through FOIA. This is not a mystery. Are we to trust that this is not the issue with our fresh water? How long will you continue the cover-up? What the city has done to all of us is criminal. You have violated our homes with raw sewage, exposed us to possible disease, and robbed us financially. Our pleas for help were met with arrogance and indifference. How do you sleep at night knowing that families are going without because of you? We all deserve better.
Pass those around. David, you say you talked to CCMSI? And you're not going to enlighten us on what they had to say?
Confidential.
It is? Okay. Well, in just 3 months, the statute of limitations will be up on that case. And when the statute of limitations is up, we will have no recourse with the courts. So they should expedite this, don't you think? It's been long enough. I mean, we want to be able to explore other avenues to recover our funds. And it's not an ambiguous thing. Here, this is the report from Lincoln Heights. The city of Lawrenceville has not been following their CMOM, their CMOM plan, to keep the sewer mains in good repair and free of obstructions in northwest part of town. It's not ambiguous. You didn't maintain, it's right here. It's the report. You did not maintain the sewer lines. They said that. So why? This is the EPA report. It's the EPA report. It's not. It's right there in black and white. You didn't maintain the lines. Why is the insurance? And if the insurance, which are not insurance, they're risk management, and they don't operate fairly. If they're not going to do it, you should do it. You should make these people whole. They $45,000 worth of damage in their basement. And they say, oh, well, let's that's all I got to say, except on Matt Bro, if Jimmy White was having trouble with the police department and somebody wanted to sit on the council and somebody with the knowledge of Dave White, I would say let him in there. With all these problems that you're having and going to keep having, because they're going to keep coming, Matt Bro would be excellent to be on the board or the council. He could be very valuable.
Mr. Horn, before you leave, do you know if that risk management company has that specific report?
They've got them all.
Okay.
They've got everything.
Because
I've seen them all, and I've had numerous conversations. We've been through 4 risk analysts, and now lawyer Tweed is in charge. She said, we're trying to find a statute or some tort immunity to keep us from paying you. I mean, that's what she says. I mean, that's a nice way to run business.
Initially, confirm this if you would, if you've spoken to them, which I have. Initially, one of the results of their investigation was that the city had maintained these were brand new problems. And then many months later, 4, 5, 6 months later, they received information that contradicted that. Was that your understanding? In other words, they were told initially these are new problems, and it took a long time for them to find out that they're not new problems.
Yeah, I kept telling them, but they didn't care what I had to say.
I understand.
They wanted to hear it from Dave or Mr. Tipsworth. Every analyst said, well, we've got to talk
My point is,
we've got to talk to Mr. Tipsworth.
That's my point. It should have been said at the very beginning that these were not new problems.
Yeah, I told them they weren't new problems.
Yep.
Mine seems a little bit, but Here we go anyway. There's a 1501 Olive Street on the corner of that and 15th. There is a building called Family Counseling Center of Southeastern Illinois. It is defunct. On the southwest corner, there's a huge hole in the roof. In the northeast, there's a huge hole in the roof. And I just had a couple questions. How long has the city mowed the yard of that property? It has been vacant for at least, I believe, 10 years. Should the city claim the building and put it up for auction? Amazing Grace Church, Christian Church, or myself are interested in purchasing this place. Is that even possible? The organization is defunct, like I said. No one owns the building, to my understanding. Not the federal government, not the state, not the city, not the county. I believe it is an abandoned property. Also, another question is, was there a tax sale to this property that I was not aware of?
That would be the sheriff's department. County sells certain.
I've already asked all them.
Okay. And I also think that there's a federal tax lien against that property because the counseling center may not have paid their withholding taxes.
Probably did not, right.
Something like that has happened.
True.
Because we've tried to address that.
Right.
But we didn't have any luck.
So my thing is this:
is it just to mow the thing and there's nobody else is going to mow it?
Right.
If you don't mow it, then it's.
Is it a loophole because since they were defunct, the one in Albany, someone owned that building. He cleared it all out. They left food in these places, you know. But he's already got that building rented out again. This one, the actual counseling center, owned it. So really, no one owns it except God. I mean, no. I'm just asking. Okay, so I guess my question is: can the city claim it and then set it up for auction so someone can actually pay the taxes? Or?
No, Mr. Neal, can you help us with this?
Well, briefly, a municipality cannot simply claim a property if, in fact, the city has been maintaining the property through mowing or removal of weeds or debris. The city could place a lien on the property, at which point a legal foreclosure action could be taken, resulting in a public sale of property. That's one. I mean, I'm familiar with where the property is located, but I don't know anything about its ownership status.
So can we do that? It's been there a long time, empty. And there's another problem though with it. I have heard that if you've ever been to that counseling center, every file that has been for every patient is still in that building. Every file is still in that building. So that's not good. That is not good. I think HIPAA might have something against that one. But is there any way we can, since he did mention that it is possible, is there any way we can find out? Because I'd like to purchase it, or at least Amazing Grace Christian Church, because we'd like to, use the parking lot there and maybe do something with the building as well. But instead of, the reason why I'm even mentioning is, it's just a shame. I'm glad you're mowing it. It's a shame that it's rotting. I mean, a perfectly good building, it's just rotting, and there's nothing we can do about it? I'm hoping there is something we can do about it, because I wouldn't mind someone purchasing it, even if it isn't me, even the town or whatever. But that we could save a building that doesn't need to rot completely. So I just make the motion to you guys, if there's any way you could look into that to see if we can actually buy it. Thank you.
Thank you.
If he makes a good plan, the school will try to find out who owned that, and they couldn't find out it. So if there's some route we can go to find out who owned it and what we can do with it, then we pursue it.
I think we've had some kind of issues with that same property up here in Bosso's building.
And the building will.
People will get it told about, maybe we'll see what we can do. We'll start the process, or investigate the process.
Thank you.
Mr. Cameron.
At the December meeting, I raised what I believe was a violation of the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
I described a situation where the mayor met privately with Russell Goins, and during the meeting, Mr. Victor Fritsch was present during a discussion. I asked repeatedly whether city business was discussed and was told no. After I returned to my seat, Alderman Goins addressed me and explained that he was there to review city employee timesheets related to a FOIA request. Have that on video. How is that not city business? When the 3 members of our corporate body were present, city business was being discussed.
Do you know what time Vic got here?
Again, I don't, but you addressed that you were discussing this, and this is my time, sir. Thank you. That exchange reinforces my concern that the Open Meetings Act was violated, or at minimum, misunderstood. Either way, that is unacceptable from elected officials. Water deposits. This is a good thing. I raised the issue of water deposits being charged in a manner not aligned with city ordinance. The mayor confirmed this information and agreed that residents who overpaid should be made whole either through a refund or a credit to their account. And I understand some people have been getting either refunds or checks. Can you confirm that's the case?
I'd have to talk to the ladies of the water department.
Okay. Well, I have heard that, so if you could confirm that, you throw me an email or something, I'd appreciate that. And if it is the case, then I appreciate that and I'll applaud you for that. Now on a serious matter. I want to address conduct raised last month. At a prior meeting, Mr. Fritsch wrote a vulgar remark on his folder directed at Dwayne Volkman, visible to anyone who could walk by. What he wrote was F-U-C-K Volkman. When confronted, he did not deny it. His response was, "So?" I then asserted that his personal dislike of Alderman Volkman influenced his vote against a basic accountability measure requiring city employees to write their start and stop times on timesheets. His response was, "Damn right. Aldermen are elected to serve the people, not to let personal grudges override sound judgment. Allowing personal feelings to interfere with decisions affecting transparency and accountability is inappropriate and childish. For that reason, I believe Mr. Fritsch has demonstrated conduct unbecoming of a public office, and I am calling for his resignation." Finally, I want to address leadership and oversight at the wastewater treatment plant. Last month, the mayor stated that on the record that it was a mystery where the data submitted to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency on discharge monitoring reports originated. That statement alone should concern this council. Public EPA documents show irregularities in reported values across multiple months. Qualified professionals who I've spoken to stated that identical values appearing repeatedly over extended periods are extremely unlikely in a living biological system such as a wastewater treatment plant. These patterns raise serious questions about whether required testing and documentation procedures were followed. Discharge monitoring reports are regulatory documents. Their accuracy directly affects environmental compliance, public health, and the city's legal exposure. I'm also concerned about leadership and communication. The department head report, consisting of the words "lot of water," does not provide meaningful oversight. Statements reportedly made to citizens such as, "Call the EPA, they won't help you," if accurate, further undermined public trust. It also instigated this entire situation with the EPA. I also want to address the claim that staffing shortages are an excuse for these issues, because the mayor made excuses for him. I FOIA requested, the only time staffing issues have been raised in a public meeting started August 13th of 2025, according to public records provided by your office. Additionally, last month in a meeting, it was stated that sanitary haulers would be turned away. They wouldn't be allowed to dump on our plant anymore. Does anybody recall that? If not, I have it on video. It's on YouTube for anybody to watch. I spoke with a member, the owner of Stremme, and they have dumped on December 19th, after the meeting last month. They called and reported to the city. They've been invoiced, so the city's aware of this. They dumped again on the 7th of January, completely unaware that they're not allowed to do so. So is this just a lack of enforcing what was discussed at a utilities meeting and at the city council meeting last month? Is a member of your staff just disregarding your directive? When is accountability going to come to bear? I've asked that before. When is it going to happen? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
heads, Jim, you have anything?
Just a monthly report, our numbers are up again. We're in full staff now, we stood up on this off, and we're trying to figure out what's the next step. Right now, we started the year off with the new safety act. All of our guys are compliant. We have at least 5 to 6 new instructors where we can teach other departments, so we're in really good shape.
Aaron, you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Grant, do you have anything to say? Okay. Council committee reports, Mr. Volkman.
Yeah, I've got several things. First of all, are you aware that they're still dumping down there?
I found out yesterday.
What are we gonna do about it?
Can we explain why it's been going on when it was decided last month that we were gonna do that?
The dump that they did in December on the 19th, that was for us. He went out to down South 12th Street and he sucked out a manhole. That was for us.
Okay.
Now, after that, when he came and dumped yesterday, I spoke to him today. He called me and I said, yeah, I apologize. I can do with you. No more dumping. And we also talked to Godfrey today as well. No more dumping.
So an oversight on those, on the last one?
Correct.
The first one was for us. Okay. You also brought up something concerning about the manholes being pulled up and people dumping in there illegally. Do we have any evidence of that? And if so, are we going to do anything about it?
I have seen a truck. I didn't know what he was doing at the time. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what he was doing at the time. When I left the sewer plant and drove that way, I saw where it was wet around that manhole. But I didn't see.
Was it a company or like an RV or something?
No, it was a small truck. It wasn't like a hauler truck. It was a pickup with a tank on the back. But there was no names on it. Like I said, I didn't know what he was doing at the time.
Have we decided if we're going to weld those shut down there? We talked about that last month too. Is that something still up for discussion? I guess the street department will do that, right?
Does it violate anything?
Does what violate it?
Well,
I think there's some welded shut. Is there some in Lincoln Heights that's welded shut right now? There's some in town that are welded shut right now, so I don't know if it violates. Good question.
People aren't even supposed to disturb these.
Pardon me?
I don't think people are even supposed to disturb our property.
Right, but obviously they are. So we should take steps to stop that.
If we find that to be a problem.
Okay. There was also the water deposit issue. My understanding from our last meeting was that some of the ordinances online are not up to date. Has that been corrected? Or is there a plan in place to do that?
Plan to address that ordinance and make it align with what we do and what we have done in the water department.
Okay. I understand there was a meeting, the union meeting that I didn't go to on the 17th. Those that did attend, I'd like to know on record if they received an agenda a week before the meeting.
No,
Okay. You're aware that the labor contract uses the word shall.
I don't believe that. Russ, did you get one a week before? You were there, right? And Teresa?
Yeah, I personally can't remember.
I don't
I got it
remember.
a week before.
Well, you didn't decide to go until the 11th when the meeting here was, and the union meeting was the 17th. So if you hadn't received it prior to the 11th, you couldn't have received it a week ahead of time. That's in violation of this union labor agreement. Are you aware of that? It says you shall receive an agenda a week ahead. Okay, it also says that certain items are not to be discussed. I know you can't talk about what was in the items, but I would hope that the following items were not discussed in that meeting. And if you just don't know, that's fine, but you might keep this in mind for the next time. It is expressly understood that items subject to the grievance procedure, threatened or pending litigation, or negotiations for the purpose of altering any or all of the terms of this agreement shall not be undertaken at such labor management meetings. So there's that information for those who may not know. It also says that 2 union officer students can receive pay for attending the meeting. Who attended the meeting, union students?
Grant and Aaron.
Pardon?
Grant and Aaron.
Okay, because the list I received had 3 listed, so only that list changed?
Is anybody else there? No.
So the list did change, correct? Because I had 3 listed on mine.
There was only 2 of them.
Okay, Grant, okay, so it changed, okay. Mr. Mayor, have you spoken to Barb Lieberwatz at the EPA yet?
What's her last name?
I think it's
Lieberwald. I've tried to contact her and I've not had it.
Okay. I've spoken to her at least 3 times, and it's not my full-time job to deal with this. I would suggest you might want to call her and talk to her. She told me the other day you had not spoken to her. She did say you played phone tag, but I don't understand why you haven't been able to speak with her.
I didn't know who she existed until I talked to Joe Steiger.
Somebody brought it up at the last meeting.
Oh, the meeting before.
Yeah, so it's been a month. All right. Prepared statement. We've been we meaning the people here that have gotten up here and spoken, and me, have been pushed back on every issue and suggestion that we've made. Here's just a few to mention a few. Citywide cleanup, golf carts, common sense timekeeping and better management of overtime, issues brought forth by an independent agency, the EPA, and suggested solutions, starting with different management. Those suggested solutions were from the community. No fair-minded person can dispute that the overtime and water issues are not a problem. You can't dispute that. I mean, the EPA has reports on the water issues. Sure, there have been improvements and more attention being paid to both of these items, but only after intense pressure. Pressure that has destroyed friendships, and I think some of the people out here can attest to that. Pressure that has caused people like Mr. Fritz to seemingly lose their minds, or at least their ability to think reasonably and rationally. I'm not the one pushing back. Louie's not the one pushing back. I'll wait for you to finish. Louie's not the one pushing back. The citizens coming here each week to voice their opinions, they aren't pushing back. What we're doing is we're being pushed back against. The pushback needs to stop. We want our concerns, our legitimate concerns, as seen by the majority of the community, news agencies, and the EPA, to be taken seriously without all the pushback. We, the council, work for the citizens. We don't work for the mayor, and it's time that we start exercising our authority in a more assertive and responsible way, such as calling the risk management company and voicing your opinions of the information you have. Help these people out. Am I still the only one that's spoken to them? Has anyone else here spoken to them besides the mayor? 2 of these families have representatives in their district, and neither one of them has called. And I've got the information. And by the way, I've made myself available to meet with the mayor. He's chosen not to speak to me privately. Let me find my place here. We want our concerns as seen by the majority of the community news agencies and the EPA to take it seriously without the pushback. We, the council, work for the citizens, not the mayor, and it's time we start exercising our authority. I recognize some of this last statement. Excuse me. I recognize some on this council will push back on that last statement to plead their case that they are doing their part. To them, I say, I have no doubt that some are behind the scenes doing some things, but there's been a lot of other behind the scenes and open denigration as well. By comparison, what I believe that we have all done could be classified as righteous indignation. There's a difference between those 2 terms. If you feel these statements don't pertain to you, that's okay. Let it sink into those that it does pertain to, and let's start working together and make our town the best that it can be. And I want to say, this is ad-libbing here. I don't care what you think of me, Mr. Fritsch. For goodness sakes, don't let your feeling toward me affect how you vote on this council.
My vote didn't reflect my feelings towards you.
That's exactly what you told him last month. It's on tape. We have it on video.
So?
You voted against it because I made the motion. Are you denying that?
That's incorrect.
Are you denying that?
That's incorrect.
So what you said last month was incorrect?
It was incorrect.
Okay. Are you writing vulgarities about, I don't care about that, but that's uncalled for. I understand you think I'm an evil person. If you want to elaborate, now's the time. If not, set that aside and let's deal with the city's business.
I'm not going to engage.
I've lost, well, don't engage, that's fine, I'm still going to make my statement. I've lost a lot of friendships, a lot of acquaintances on this council. But you know what? I've gained a lot nicer ones out here. And if that's the way it's got to be, that's how it's got to be. But my gosh, don't get mad at me and not vote a certain way because if that way is correct, because of the way you feel about me. That's ridiculous and childish. And I second the motions of those who...
The small part of what you said, when we redid that timesheet, that's what, down at the bottom, we're asking what the overtime was for, so we could start tracking that.
I understand that.
If it's at the cemetery or the armory or wherever, because, you know, we don't know for sure. I mean, you know, I'm sure the summertime, the cemetery has tons of overtime mowing. So that's what that was done for, so we can start compiling that.
Like I mentioned earlier, that wasn't the only issue. You still have left, the council, other than me, has voted to maintain a timekeeping system that leaves room, whether it's one little thing or a lot of things. There should be no room for human error, and we have the opportunity to correct that. Mr. White has come up with solutions. I have solutions. No one's come to me and talked to me. But for whatever reason, we're going to continue to use a system that allows for human error. That was the other thing, the other reason this was brought up. And by the way, I'm not the first one that brought it up. So if that's why you voted because of me, you just cut your nose off, spite your face, because that man right there brought it up. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Walton?
Nothing.
Mr. Rowe?
Nothing.
Teresa?
I just want to thank everyone that came out to help on December the 13th at Wreaths Across America at the Lawrenceville Cemetery. I would like to thank the mayor, Russ, and Vic for coming out and helping lay the wreaths on the veterans' graves. And there was probably a lot of community did. We had a very good turnout again. I think we did it within an hour. We laid 1,025 wreaths on the graves, and I did sell some of them to the other communities and everything. So thank you for your support.
Amen.
No. Mr. Dunn?
I'd just like to say that I apologize for the people that had the water problems in their basement. I know, Billy, you came to the house and showed me a lot of stuff, and I had it. My intention was, and I checked on, I thought we had some kind of insurance system here. Apparently, it's not a very good one.
It's not.
Maybe we need to look at new insurance to protect our citizens.
Yeah.
And if we do that, maybe we can make some... I have a daughter that has an old house, and she has a basement. I've spent 4 or 5 times. In the first year she had it, I had water up to my ankles through the whole basement. And we've eventually got it worked out a little better, so when it rains hard, it only is in a little area of the basement. It's not everywhere. And I looked up and down the street and I said, well, this is something everybody's got. And if it wasn't sewer, it was rainwater. And I understand those people that had the sewer, that's bad.
Very good.
And I apologize. right here now.
Thank you, Jim.
You're the first one that's done that. Thank you.
Yep, that's awesome.
And I tell you what, on that time clock, I'm just upset because I don't want to mess around with the workers. I want them to go to work. We got good employees.
Yeah.
I don't follow them around anyway. I see them working all the time. We just want to do something that's beneficial to everybody, and probably to Rodney more than anybody, because
Yes.
it would help him in the work that he does with his bookkeeping.
Push a button and it's done.
Yeah.
Turnstile.
Yeah.
Stainless steel turnstile, just like the prisons. Put one down there, put one over there, put one out the cemetery.
That's all I have.
Anything, Victor?
I would suggest legislative maybe take up what Mr. Brown talked about, and then find a discrepancy in those words.
All right.
That's something we can look at.
Yes. I've received word from the Greater Wabash Regional Planning that the USDA has funded the 16th Street water line project. We've received a notice of selection, and we're awaiting notification of the award. Jeff Vaughn from Greater Wabash will be here at the next council meeting. This is a grant for $1 million. It's to replace the water line on 16th Street, basically from Mr. and Mrs. Campbell's house up to the Porter Avenue near the Armory. So that's what we're doing there. The committee meetings for the entire year have been set and will be posted. Those committees are the Park Cemetery, Finance, Legislative, and Utilities. Other meetings will be announced as needed. The labor management meetings are to be held quarterly, but no dates have been established, so we'll get those notifications to the proper people. So with that being said, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Have a motion, is there a
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh, okay.